Welcome to the Evolve Talent and HR Show. I'm Anna Morgan, your career BFF, known as the rescuer of dogs and careers, but now the creator of the Evolve Talent and HR experience. My career has been one big series of unexpected plot twists that now have landed me in the world of events for the recruitment and HR industry. Evolve was born from a desire to build heart centered spaces for leaders to show up boldly and learn together. This show is for the modern day employee, a people first leader. Individual contributors, managers, executives, practitioners, entrepreneurs, and fractional leaders who care deeply about humans and are not afraid to do work differently. If you influence how people are hired, developed, led, and supported, you belong here. On this show, you're going to hear conversations with talent acquisition leaders, HR business partners, event organizers, sponsors, speakers, and attendees who are passionate about building human-centered, connected, and creative workplaces. So if you're ready for something a little bit different, community, fresh energy, and practical inspiration that you can use right away, you're in the right place. This is the Evolve Talent and HR Show. Let's dive in. When I launched your Career BFF podcast, it wasn't a giant, polished go to podcast. It was a tiny experiment with 6 episodes. And they were recorded between client calls, planning the Evolve event, and real life. But in those 6 conversations, there was still a pattern that showed up. And we weren't just talking about resumes or job search or job titles. We were talking about rooms and community and the future of work. So we talked with Jamie Leonard from RecFest about how traditional recruitment events had an opportunity to evolve and how community driven conferences, unique experiences like RecFest change the way recruiters connect and learn. We talked with Enrique Rubio from Hacking HR about elevating HR, building global communities, and navigating AI and really the future of work from a place of curiosity. Then we talked with Dan Vasquenza about neurodiversity, invisible disabilities, and creating workplaces and events that were inclusive and sensory friendly. So then I had the pleasure of speaking with Emily Brooks about diesel tech recruiting and trade careers and how building trust with candidates and investing in building skills and relationships should be prioritized over quick fixes. So then we talked with Erin Murphy, one of my great friends, about turning a layoff into a recruiting business and how that was powered by courage and community and LinkedIn visibility. And then I brought you along to the Wild Connections Night at the Zoo, an event we hosted after RecFest. And we unpacked really what it meant to be a career BFF and called out hiring culture red flags. We talked about AI disruption and really built a community in real time. So yes, your career BFF talked a lot about the world of work, job search, and recruiting. But underneath that, it was always about community and collaboration over competition. It was about building events and connection to really manage the disruption of work with a focus on belonging, inclusion, and really just being a career BFF to those in the recruitment and human resources industry. So that is the thread that we're following into this next chapter. And those episodes, while they were coming to life, something bigger was happening behind the scenes. And Evolve was continuing to evolve. Now, the first conference in 25 started as a very personal experiment. I turned 50, and instead of waiting for a seat on someone else's stage, I decided to build my very own room. And in about 69 days, we pulled together about 75 attendees, 10 sponsors, and 16 speakers. Yay. It was one day, one room, And one big question: what happens if we create an intimate, high touch experience just for HR and TA people, those that are usually taking on too much and holding space for everyone else? What I saw in that room really changed me. I felt like people exhaled. They were honest. They met collaborators, friends, and those expanded into future opportunities. Evolve 25 ended up not just being a conference, it was my first attempt at building a brave, fun, high trust space where people and people first leaders could really connect at a deeper level and learn and really remember that they're not alone in this work. So, after Evolve 25, I realized I didn't want to coach and I didn't want to recruit anymore. I wanted to only focus on building Evolve and build rooms, experiences, and communities that really empower our community to feel less lonely and elevate the world of work. So, heading into Evolve 26, I made a decision. Instead of trying to be a full time recruiter, a coach, an event planner, I would really focus my business on just Evolve. And it's one flagship conference, regional dinners, and fringe events. So, partnerships with HR and TA vendors, events and experiences a little bit differently. We don't have to always do it the same way we've always done it. So, Evolve 26 became the next chapter, and that was a bigger room, more sponsors, a future virtual element, and an even deeper focus on psychological safety, burnout, mental health, and people first leadership. So, somewhere between Evolve 25 and 26, stopped seeing Evolve as just an event and started seeing it as my North Star and really what I want to focus on in this season of my career. And that's what this podcast needed. It needed to evolve as well. So, here's the shift: the Career BFF podcast is becoming the Evolve Talent and HR show. Same host, me, Anna Morgan, your career BFF, the rescuer of dogs and careers, but also now a community architect of events for HR and TA community members. Same obsession with humans, trust, and community, but now we're zooming out. And instead of focusing on individual careers, we're going to talk about how we hire and how we lead in the age of AI, how we build events and communities that reduce loneliness, and instead of amplifying isolation, we are building spaces for leaders to navigate burnout, to learn how to set better boundaries, to develop resilience and be in that bounce back season. It's for how founders and vendors and practitioners can collaborate instead of compete. And so when I picture this new chapter, I see four types of listeners that I want to bring along with me. So, people first practitioners in HR, talent acquisition, recruiting, and people ops. Those who want tools, language, frameworks, and community that match the reality and challenges and opportunities in the work that they do. So, people leaders and hiring managers who care about results without sacrificing their health and burning out, and also taking care of their teams. I want builders and partners, founders, consultants, and vendors in the space who want to co create within the community, not just to sell into it. Vendors and sponsors who want relationships, that want to foster trust. And those are the folks that are running meetups, ERGs, local chapters, and different events. That can be the glue to amplify community building on a bigger level. So, it's those friends that are asking, how do I make this room feel safer and braver, have more depth? So if you saw yourself in any of those, this is your room. And if you influence how people are hired, developed, and or supported, the Evolved Talent and HR show is your room. And I feel like from here on out, you can expect real conversations, candid conversations with a wide variety of talent leaders, human resources leaders, and those that are experimenting with changing the world of work in a different way. So, this is not just slides, it is honest talk about AI's disruption, the future of work, being in community as a trust accelerator, a career accelerator, and a resource where you can have those light bulb moments where you are given the gift of an actionable strategy that you can take back to your teams. So, from the very first Evolve event to shared housing events that I've hosted, to zoo nights, to dinners, to fringe events, all of those events and lessons create the Evolve movement and knowledge to elevate you and the world of work. So, my hope is that these episodes blend career, leadership, mental health, and community building. So you're still going to hear from the underdogs and the innovators. We're just kind of widening the lens, if you will, to include the systems and the spaces that they move through. So if you've listened to any of those first 6 episodes, thank you. Thank you for being here from the very beginning. And if you're catching this new, it is the perfect place to start and prioritize your professional development. If this evolution feels like your evolution too, if you care about hiring and you care about humans, leadership, and events and changing the world of work, hit follow on the Evolve Talent and HR show. Share this episode with one HR or talent acquisition friend, one founder, or one person in your community who you know is caring a lot right now. This show is for people who will truly shape the future of work, and they're not waiting for a seat at the table. They're not waiting to be picked. They are building rooms, one conversation, one little brave experiment at a time. I am so grateful you are here. So let's evolve together. If you have questions, please reach out. I would love to collaborate and celebrate whatever you're building. We are on this journey together. Thank you so much. Hey, thank you so much for hanging out with us today on the Evolve Talent and HR show. I'm Anna Morgan, your career BFF, and the intention with Evolve is simple: create brave, fun, and high trust spaces where people can connect, learn, and remember that they're not alone in this work. If this episode gave you a new idea, a sense of relief, or a little spark to keep you going, that means we're doing our job. If you are a talent acquisition or HR leader, an event organizer, or an HR or TA vendor and you want to collaborate, I would love to hear from you and meet with you. You can always book an Evolve partnership call to explore partnership, custom events, regional dinners, virtual experiences, and fringe events that match your goals. The link is in the show notes. Until next time, keep showing up boldly, keep caring about people, and keep evolving. I'm always cheering you on.